Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises and glories due. Kwahala Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Bashem Kwakwadash. Double line said apostles a great millstone. And Shalom and salutations to the Yakim out there on the highways and byways. That's noticing this road abroad, all around the world in sincerity and truth. And Shalom to you, fierce sisters listening in silence through the spirit and power of our Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. So, for some reason, this article that I'm bringing out, concerning this third world war concerning this conflict that's growing between U.S. and China over the fears of invading Taiwan. You know, so Taiwan, the U.S. really has its hands in Taiwan, and also China. Taiwan is a part of China. That's that's China's sovereignty right there. Not to mention the situation that's going on between Ukraine when Russia invaded Ukraine. You know, why did Russia invade Ukraine? Because Ukraine is a part of Russia once upon a time. So now Russia wants that back. You know, and here you have America supplying Ukraine with military equipment, sending billions of dollars over to Ukraine in military equipment, and military weapons and things like that, to defend against Russia. But here you have China, already saying that, they will back Russia if any other nation invades Ukraine. That same alliance with Russia, with China, with the same thing with the invasion of Taiwan, So this third world war is definitely brewing up. The Mosai is definitely stirring the pot up. The Mosai is definitely turning the heat up on this thing. The Mosai is definitely turning the heat up. Because this is gonna spiral into a third world war. World War III. So there's nothing nobody could do to stop it. All right, this is according to prophecy. But I would bring out the article, but every time I do that, something happens with the equipment. So I'm just gonna just jump right into the scriptures. This is let me get Isaiah chapter 9 verse 5. It reads, "For every battle of the war is with confused noise and garments rolled with blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." So this third world war is going to be burning. It's going to be fought by way of burning and fuel of fire. And what is that fire? That burning and fuel of fire is them thermonuclear missiles. Okay. Which is going to be shot from one end to the earth onto the other, which is over here in Babylon, the rear of the earth. All right, so these missiles, they're going to be shot from China, Russia, and all these other nations, and ultimately destroy America. Coincidentally, these other nations, they will be hit by missiles. America will fire off their missiles, and certain parts of these other nations will be destroyed. But ultimately, according to prophecy, America would be totally annihilated by way of these thermonuclear missiles. Okay, so that's how it's going to be. So this war is going to be a thermonuclear war. Okay, which the top nations, Russia and China, possess thermonuclear capability, and such as America and Israel, and these other nations such as North Korea, who else? India, Pakistan, Iran, all these other nations that possess the thermonuclear missile. And yes, these missiles will be used according to prophecy. This is what's gonna destroy America. All right, these missiles will be used. So, let me check something. Okay. So real quick, let's jump into Revelations 11 and 14. Actually, let me start at 13. And that same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and there remained and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you know, the God of heaven, you know. Who are the remnant? The remnant are the elect that will be delivered when you read up further here in verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying, Come up hither, saying unto them, Come up hither, and they ascended into heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So that's the elect being delivered up out of here. You know, that's the elect getting delivered from the chariots, you know, which the so-called white man ignorantly calls UFOs, you know. You know, so those are the chariots. You know, you can see an example of the chariots, you know, watching that movie Independence Day, you know. So those are the chariots that the elect will be delivered in. So they're gonna ascend into heaven in a cloud, and our enemies are gonna behold us, you know, which are the so-called white men in these other nations that are not a part of Israel. So that's the remnant, you know, the elect that will be delivered from America up into the chariots, you know. So after that, them thermonuclear missiles are gonna start flying over here, you know, in full capacity to destroy America, you know. And that's what's coming, you know. So verse 14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. So we see this third woe coming quickly, because in that article that I was reading, it said that this could spiral into a third world war, and it is going to spiral into a third world war, you know, because now you got Russia and China in alliance, you know. So this is all centered amongst, you know, everything is all centered amongst war. You know, like the situation that took place where, you know, the president of Iran mysteriously died in a helicopter crash, but you had Russian investigators went over there to investigate, and they said that this was no accident, this was actually murder. You know, and they blamed the United States for it. You know, that's behind it. So we already see that this war is already brewing up. It's already stirring up. You know, the Most High is stirring the pot up, so to say. You know. So let's go to Joel chapter 3, verse 9. So this is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. It says, Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. You know, beat your plowshares into spears, and your puny hooks into beat your plowshares into swords, and your puny hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Assemble yourselves together, and come all ye heathen, and gather yourself together round about. Thither cause the mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. You know, so the Lord is about to gather all the heathen all together and judge them. You know. So where is this thing? So how is this thing that all the heathen can make it, or the Gentiles can receive salvation, when the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai said he's going to gather these nations all together around the boat and judge them, you know? So how does that fit in? How does the heathen fit into salvation? You know, that's another cut, you know, another cold cut to you reprobates out there, you know? Verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe, and come get you down, for the press is full. The fat overfloweth, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes and multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So the day of the Lord is near. All right. So the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, is stirring the pot up. It's turning the heat up, so to say. So the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, is stirring that pot up, and that pot is getting hotter and hotter, by the day. And this thing is not going to turn back. So we're in the time of war. We're not in the time of peace. Like this woman walked by the camp, this past camp that we had, and she was talking about, peace, peace and energy. But there is no peace in the world, It's all about war, because there's a transition happening. There's a transition and there's a change of power that's taking place right now, okay? So within a change of power, within a transition, and within a war, there is no peace within war, all right? Within war, people die, and that's what we're on the verge on right now, of war, of death, great death, So let's get this real quick. So this is Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, starting at 1, and it reads, to everything there is a season, a time to every purpose under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal. We're in a time of killing right now, all right? A time to break down and a time to build up. We're in a time of breaking down, all right? America's breaking down right now. Everything is breaking down, A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather up stones together, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate. We're in a time of hate right now. We're not living in a time of love. There is no love out here. A time of war and a time of peace. You see, a time of war and a time of peace. We're living in a time of war. Great war. That's all you hear in the media is war, war, war. War. That's all you hear. Because we're on the verge of war right now. We're in war. All right? So there's no turning it back. Especially there's going to be war out here in these streets of America real soon. There's going to be a thing of race wars. All right? So we're in the time of war. All right? And there's no turning it back. And that's the times that we're living in. Okay? So anybody out there talking about some peace, they're a fool and they're blinded. They're really not hip to reality. They're not hip to prophecy, and they're gonna be the main ones that get caught up in this conflict that's about to take place because they're just not prepared. They sleep, So that's just gonna be that, So with that, giving all praises and glories due to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Rakwakadash Shalom.